you. You a demon. You a devil. You ain't I been being a real that ain't even my baby. I can't believe this shit. Go to hell, mother. You need to go to hell. You hear me? Shut up. You just use good men. I'm one of the good ones, goddamn. Buying diapers and doing all this real man shit, taking care of the baby. Whole time you been around out there in the street. This ain't even my damn child. Man, my God, man. Damn. You is a devil. This whole time you serious?
I understand you mad, bro. Come on,
you
bro.
don't understand shit either. You need to hush your goddamn mouth.
I need to stop yelling. My babe.
Man, look.
Hey, y'all gotta
Don't say another motherfucking word to me.
Y'all need to talk this
That ain't even my child. I've been buying shit, spending my hard-earned money, and this ain't even my child. The baby crying because the baby is ashamed of her mother. That ain't even my goddamn child.
You would say
If I was a real you ought to be ashamed of your motherfucking son. You want to use somebody else. You want to use me up for, goddamn. You ain't shit. I don't want to hear nothing you got to say.
Just get up and leave.
Get your life together. Bro,
Just get your
I've been being a real man. Oh, God damn, I can't believe this mother.
Come on, bro.
Ain't even my child, man. Man,
You doing this all
does that look like my child, bro? Hold on, y'all take a look at this goddamn baby. That look like my child. Man, the paperwork, man, ain't my goddamn child.
The paperwork
Hey, paperwork. You, that paperwork, everything you told me, you lied to me.
All right.
Yeah, ain't nothing but a fraud, yo. You just a fraud.
They so tough. I wasn't even with him for real anyways. Like, I was with all their back in and shit.
My child, man. I'm thinking my child. I've been buying shit. I've been buying shit, man.
You pay all the bills too, don't you?
I thought I was doing some real shit, man.
Well, nigga, don't come on. You know you're
gonna
real.
back though, man.
You taking care of the responsibility, bro. What
Man,
you
I
mean?
just got a
You
loan
real
to
nigga,
pay
she
for
a
all
real
this
nigga.
shit for that baby. I ain't even my goddamn baby, man. This girl so goddamn devil.
Yeah, she look just like you though.
Man, that baby don't look like me. I'm learning. That ain't even my child, bro. I'm hurt, man. I ain't gonna lie. I made something with a little empire. I'm trying to build up. Yeah, this shit got me hurting inside.
Come on, bro. You a real nigga. Sorry, bro.
Man, it ain't gonna be alright for a while, man. I've been buying shit for that child, man.
You about to be saving a lot more money now, bro.
Oh, shit, man.
Come on, bro. Let's just go sleep here, man. Walk this shit out, man. Who baby you think it is? Yeah, she been lying to you this. She been lying to you this whole time, bro.
I don't know, man. I get it.
One of the worst pieces of information and news any man can hear. As I always say, alpha seed, beta need. See, there's a lot of women running around, sleeping around, dealing with all types of different dudes. Then they get pregnant and they go to the guy who's financially responsible, who has a good head on his shoulders, who they know, you know what? He can be a good provider for me and my child. He can pay child support. So what they do is they pin that child or children on that good man. And they leave Pookie, Tyrone, and Ray Ray, the guys who aren't really responsible, who don't have a good head on their shoulders. They say, well, the child is not yours. This happens way too often. This is why I encourage all of you. I don't care how long you've been with your woman, your wife, your girlfriend. I don't care. Get a DNA test before you sign any sort of birth certificate. I know it's exciting, and you finally have your kid and you think it's biologically yours and you're ready to be a parent, you're ready to be a dad. And now you're like, well, I shouldn't have to sign anything. I know this kid is mine. Don't do it. Here's the thing. If she gets frustrated and upset and she says, well, you don't trust me, you got your answer right there. She should be saying, yeah, go ahead. Let's get a DNA test. Because I don't have nothing to hide. And a lot of these chicks, they're sleeping around. They're getting smashed by all types of guys. You can hear the pain and agony and frustration in that man's voice. One of the worst pieces of news any man or father can hear is that, number one, my mother and father has passed away. And number two, the child or children is not biologically mine. Because every man wants to start his own lineage, especially if you have a son. You want that to be your namesake. You want that kid to have your last name so you can play t-ball with and softball and football and basketball. You want to do all these different things because, let's be honest, that's what every man truly wants, their own child, right? But then when you find out that's not my actual seed, it's another man's, and you've been taking care of it, and you've been doing all these different things and creating these memories and building a bond, that can crush a man's soul. Because now he's looking at every female, he's like, you know what? Man, y'all chicks, man, I can't trust none of y'all. You know, and a lot of guys have been getting vasectomies because they don't want to go through and deal with the heartbreak of investing not just money, but just the time and the emotions and the holding the kid and you thinking that you have something special, because that's one of the things that every man can bond with. When a man has a child or he hears that, you know what, I'm about to have a child or children, listen, that brings him so much joy. Because a lot of dudes don't have a lot of joy and a lot of things that they really look forward to in life. But once he's a father or he's going to be a father, he's like, okay, hey, cool, I'm happy. There's a lot of dudes who are like, you know what? The child ain't mine, but I'll still take care of it. It's crazy because so many dudes want to be dads so bad. They're risking their money. They're risking their reputation just to take care of a child, just to have some sort of bond. And a lot of these women, they don't care. Didn't you hear what the girl said? She's like, you know, I wasn't really with him anyways. And a lot of these chicks, they're not really with you. They just want you to take care of the kid. They just want food stamps. They just want child support. They want government housing, and they want to claim their own taxes. So, okay, this is what I got. And a lot of women use these kids as pawns because they know it's evil. I've seen it. And they know that, you know what, this guy, he's a good dad. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. You can see she had no remorse. She had no sort of sympathy. She didn't say, you know what, I apologize. I'm sorry. She's just like, I wasn't with them anyways. And then the other female looked like her friend, maybe a relative. They're just sitting there like, so what? And a lot of women think you're just a utility. They think you're just a means to an end, a guy who's just there that's to take care of the kid financially and everything. And then that's it. And even if it's not yours, it's a sad state of affairs, man. Because just think about it. How many dudes right now are taking care of kids financially that's not even biologically theirs? Just think about it. Some of you guys got kids, you're like, man, let me go do a DNA test right now. I got to go. You should, because you want to know the news. A lot of dudes are scared to do a DNA test. I'm serious. They're like, man, I probably should, but I don't want to do it because I can't even, have that news. So they just say, well, this is my kid, no matter what. Listen, having a biological kid, having a kid that has your features, that has some traits that you have growing up, because trust me, kids have, different traits of their parents growing up. So if you used to bite your nails, if you used to do this, kids will have those. Don't you want that as a man, as a father? Don't just go up there blindly signing the birth certificate and say, well, this is my baby. Don't do it, because that baby could come out too light, too dark, and now you're questioning. And that's one of the worst things you can go through too. Having a baby and somebody saying, yo, I don't know if they kind of look like you, man. And you're like, what you mean? And you taking care of it, 1 year old, 2 years old, 3 years old, 5, and you have family members, relatives like, and there's always somebody that's gonna, peep something and say, I don't know if that's his. And now you're gonna start questioning yourself and questioning her. And you're gonna go through that pain day in and day out, looking at that kid, having doubts, worries, and all these different emotions going on. So to alleviate all of that, get a mandatory DNA test. And if she's mad, if she says you don't trust her, even if she says, you know what, if you get a DNA test, you're not going to be a part of this child's life. You know where you stand. Get a DNA test anyway. And if she says, I'm going to put you on child support if you get a DNA test, it's like, listen, just get one. Because you don't want that sort of pain on your conscience. That's one of the worst feelings a man can feel. Just think about it. You thinking you doing the right thing and everything, and boom, you get the news, you get the documents. And, oh man, I mean, Jerry Springer, all these type of talk shows have made a living off women coming on stage talking about, yeah, that's my baby, that's my baby, that's your baby, that's your, look, he look just like you. Haven't you guys seen it? He look at that. and then he get the news, they pull the folder out. You are not the father. Oh, then she falls out. She goes screaming, running backstage. And then you see the dude either rejoice, and there's a lot of dudes who say, you know what, it's okay. And he rubs the female's back backstage, and she's crying. Not even saying she apologizes what she's put the dude through. She's crying. Only reason she's crying because she got caught up on national TV that the kid is not hers. That's not his, right? So this is why, guys, even though you think that the kid is yours, do your due diligence. Because these chicks, they don't even care. Even if you just want to take care of the kid, and some dudes are like, I don't even care. As sad as it is, still get one. Because that kid that you're going to invest your time and money, your energy into, you want him to have your lineage, your limbs, just think about it. You are like 6 foot tall and the kid is like 5'4", 5'5". You're like, what? That's kind of weird, right? It doesn't have anything that you have. So it's a sad state of affairs, but this is what you guys have to do. Get a mandatory DNA test. Don't just trust these women, because these women, they have phones, they have dating apps, they have ex-boyfriends, they have dudes they dealing with next door. It's so easy for women to have sex and cheat and then pin the baby on you, the financially stable guy.